Hey, Mike the cartoonist here. Well, actually I cartoon too. Now you know what I really do. Now you know my other passion in life. Actually I have three passions in life. The Lord Jesus Christ and His work, drawing, doing cartooning, and Yankees! Go Yankees! Okay, now I'm going to teach you a little lesson in one-point perspective. You ever learned perspective before? Well, you're going to now. Alright? Here's all you got to do. Well, I've left my pen somewhere. Give me a moment, I'll be right back. Ha! I have returned. Thank you very much. Alright, I've got my pens. I've probably got more pens than I need. Okay, here's how you do one-point perspective. First you got to draw a line on a piece of paper. Just draw a line across the page like that. Alright, put a point on there. That is the most important point. It's called the vanishing point. Alright, this is called a horizon line. Why? Because it's horizontal. That's a pretty tricky reason for it, huh? Horizontal. The horizon line and the point, aka the most important point. Alright, here's why it's the most important point, because this is the point you gotta draw the perspective lines from. Alright? If you're going to draw a drawing in perspective, one-point perspective, you've got to have perspective lines. And they all head towards the point. Alright, so look, I'm going to draw something lovely from this. Let's start with something like this. Draw some horizontal lines, more horizontal lines coming out, and look, you suddenly have a beautiful train track. It's a train track, for crying out loud. You can't see it very well, can you? Alright, I'm going to draw some railroad ties. Draw some, what do you call those? Vertical lines, that's right, vertical lines. Coming down. Then a couple horizontal lines. I'm going to give it 3-dimension here, see? 3-dimension. Ooh, look at it. It's starting to look like a train track already, isn't it? There goes a motorcycle. Alright, there's more of a train track there. Oops. Uh-oh, the train track's starting to fall apart. It's hard to draw these things with a big giant fat marker, you know? Alright, well anyways, there's a train track. Now you can see it, can't you? Isn't it beautiful? Alright, now check this out. Over here, I'm going to draw that. Now this is the secondary, most important line. Actually, the perspective lines are pretty much equal to the point somewhat, because they all converge on the point. Alright, so here's a perspective line I'm going to do there. Here's a vertical line. And look, I've got the makings of a building. Draw a couple horizontal lines here, and then another vertical line, and by golly, got yourself a building. Now shade it in there so you can tell it's 3-dimensional. That looks even better, doesn't it? Looks like a beautiful building. And now if I draw a couple more perspective lines here, look, I can draw a window on this thing. Oh man, that's a fabulous looking building, isn't it? I should say it is. Alright, now over here I'm going to draw something like this. Let me draw with my fat pen here. Draw a line here, and a line here. Now, once again, you've got to get your perspective lines in there, because they are the most important. Well, next to the point. Actually, you can't disassociate them with the point, because, you know, they are as important. Pretty much. And then I'm going to define, look, there's where that leg would come down. Well, no, it would come down that far. Okay. Alright, I remember how to do it. Okay, so there's a beautiful table. Isn't it lovely? Alright, so you can fill this in, make it... Alright, so you're going, well, why am I watching this? Well, what's the point there, fella? Well, here, let me just take care of this piece of paper here and tear it loose, and then I'll be right back. I just don't want to make a bunch of noise on video, so let me turn the camera off here for a minute. There, okay. Ready for the second part, okay. What? Oh, I forgot to tear the paper off. I'm sorry about that here. Let me just take that off there. Okay, now that's out of the way. Okay, now, here we go. Here's the point of this whole thing. Alright, let's do this again. Let's do it this way. By the way, you know, it'd be better if you used a ruler when you draw those lines. You saw how junky that drawing looked? Yeah, use a ruler, okay? So let's draw another line here. But this time we're going to go at it a different way. Alright, here's a line. This line now, the horizontal line, is going to represent time. The beginning of time, the end of time on earth. You say, okay, what's the point? There's the point right there. That's the point. That is the most important point in time. You say, what is that point? Well, I'm getting to that. All right, just relax. Everything in time that is of any importance points to this point in time. Your life should point to that point in time. Okay, so in other words, I'm saying your life should point to that. It's not your birth, okay? I'll let you know right off the bat. It's not your when the day you were born. Okay, what is the most important point in time? Think about it. In fact, I'll give you a moment. Hold on. Okay, time's up. Okay, wait a minute. I've got something for you. Think about a Bible story, okay? An Old Testament Bible story. Can you think of one? Yeah, that's right. Adam and Eve. Okay, that's a good one. Noah's Ark. Yes, that's right. Okay, how about Daniel in the Lion's Den? David and Goliath. Abraham and Isaac. Can you think of any others? Sure you can. Joseph. Jonah and the whale. It goes on and on, okay? You can think of plenty, all right? Listen, all those stories were perspective lines that went to the point, the most important point in time. Remember when I said the secondary most important points, or the secondary most important lines, I'm saying point so much I'm goofing up, is a vertical. There's an airplane going by. And a horizontal. Behold, the most important point in time. The cross upon which Jesus died is a shelter in which we all can hide. For its grace so free was sufficient for me, and deep as its fountains, as wide as the sea. There's room at the cross for you, you know. Listen, this is the most important point in time. As I've mentioned in my other videos, the thief on the cross went to heaven. He was an example of the first person who ever went to heaven in the new era of grace that God gave us by his Christ, his Son, dying on the cross for us. Every one of those stories, Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, David and the Lion's Den, all have the same point: deliverance and salvation. Some of you, I've promised you some other videos. I promise, Lord willing, I'm going to get to those as soon as I can. Keep an eye on my channel. Subscribe. I would appreciate it very much. Keep this in mind. Most important point in time: salvation.